Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm the Witch of the Cottage here on YouTube and on Instagram. The dog next to me is Rupert, introduction to follow. And today we're going to be talking about Imbolc, what it is, how you can celebrate it, some of the traditions and folklore associated with Imbolc. So Imbolc is one of the 4 greater Celtic Sabbats, Celtic festivals, and it is also one of the 4 Celtic fire festivals. In the Northern Hemisphere, Imbolc is celebrated from the 1st and 2nd of February, celebrated from sunset on the 1st of February to sunset on the 2nd of February, so a 24-hour period. And in the Southern Hemisphere, Imbolc is celebrated 1st to the 2nd of August. As I've said, Imbolc is a fire festival and it is also associated with the coming of spring, of the warming, of plants starting to grow again, and it is also associated with fertility. Imbolc is the Celtic celebration and Celtic Irish celebration of this day, but it is actually celebrated globally. You've got Candlemas, which is a Christian festival of candles and of fire, which you can see the similarities between Celtic Fire Festival, which had an emphasis on candles, and the Christian festival of Candlemas. You can see the similarities there. That is Candlemas, that is the 2nd of February. It is a Christian fire festival, candles, you can kind of see the links there. Now, the deity of Imbolc is Brigid, or Brigid, or Brigid, depending how you want to pronounce her name, but she is a Celtic deity. And actually in Ireland, on this day, they celebrate St. Brigid's Day. Now you can see how the church, yet again, have taken a Celtic, more older pagan festival and have repackaged it and rebranded it as a Christian festival. Interestingly, St. Brigid in Ireland, she is associated with candles still and with holy wells and springs, which are some of her Celtic associations. Now, more globally, you've also got Groundhog Day, which is celebrated at this time, and it is to celebrate the end of hibernation of the groundhogs and of the hibernating animals. So again, it's the reawakening of things coming. It's the reawakening of everything coming springtime. Now, Brigid, Brigid is deity of Imbolc. She is a Celtic deity, she's a triple goddess, and she has many, many associations. I actually have a list here. She is associated with fire, with holy wells and springs. She's associated with poetry and creativity, with midwifery, fertility, spring, a home, the kitchen, protection, and livestock and farming. So many associations of Brigid there. I'm sure you can find one of them at least which you associate with as well. If you can't, spring is the time of year, so there you go. So Brigid is the Celtic deity, St. Brigid is the Christian version of her, but I'm led to believe that she's also celebrated in voodoo as Mama Brigid. So yeah, she is one of the most global goddesses that there is. So some of the traditional celebrations of Imbolc are spring cleaning. You right there, Rupert? Spring cleaning, doing a deep cleanse of your house, physically as well as energetically, getting rid of all the old dust, all the stagnant things, because actually Imbolc was the start of the year for rural farming families traditionally, because this is when life starts again. This is when you can start your planting and everything, so it's the start of the farming year almost. One of the ways that Imbolc is traditionally celebrated is by people lighting torches, flaming torches, just like in the movies, and walking with the flaming torches around their land, around their fields, around their livestock, circling their barns and stables. This is said to bring protection, luck and fertility to them and to their land over the coming year. That also ties into Imbolc being a fire festival because of the flaming torches. As Imbolc is the rural traditional New Year, it's a brilliant time to do divinations, for you to have a go at tarot readings, and as it's a fire festival, it's a really great time if you're interested in fire scrying. It's easier with a bigger fire, so if you've got a hearth or an open fire or a bonfire, it's easier to kind of look into that, get into a trance-like state and see what visions come to you, see what you can see in the flames. If you're not able to do that, another great option is to use the smoke, either the smoke from a candle or the smoke from incense. I think Rupert's seen somebody he likes. He's wagging his tail. But you can use smoke and incense to look into the smoke, see what shapes and symbols you see for your coming year. Some of the colours associated with Imbolc are white and yellow and green, and pastel colours like pinks and purples. Now, the white symbolises the light returning, purity, and yellow symbolises the sun and the flowers that you're seeing, and green is the grass and the green of the bulbs shooting up through the ground, which you might be able to see around this time of year. Some great ways to use the colours are in nail colour. You can paint your nails, mine need doing, so I'm going to do them in some pastel colours of the season. You can wear clothes that are the same colours, white, yellow, nice pastel colours, and you can decorate with these colours if you have an altar, or if you're bringing flowers into the house, look for flowers the same colours as Imbolc, and that's a great way to celebrate. Now, if you're going to wear clothes as part of your celebration of Imbolc, like dedicating clothes, not just wearing clothes, I presume you're going to wear clothes anyway, but if you're not, cool, go for it. But if you are, then great, you can wear the colours of the season, but also you can wear wool. Wool is associated with Imbolc because Brigid, the deity, is associated with sheep and with ewes. So you can actually wear wool as a celebration of that, or as a dedication towards Brigid if you're that way inclined. It's a great thing that you can do if you're in the broom closet, you're not able to actively show you're celebrating the season, you can wear a woolen jumper, no one will bat an eyelid. There are two meanings or translations of the name Imbolc. Now, one possible meaning of it is in the belly, and it's the time of year when lambs were starting to be born and when animals would then be able to produce milk again. So it's a time to celebrate dairy and eat butter, drink milk and put them in your belly. So that's where the meaning of in the belly comes from. And the other translation of Imbolc is ewe's milk. So again, celebrating the dairy aspect of this holiday. That brings us on to the foods associated with Imbolc. They are dairy products, you've got butter, you've got milk. Also associated a little bit with it are oats and honey. Now, these are great foods if you want to eat them, incorporate them into your day, but they're also wonderful to be left as offerings. Now, traditionally in rural communities, butter would be left outside or on your windowsill as an offering in this season, either to the fairies or to Brigid, whichever way you're inclined to do so. So butter or milk are great to do this with. Traditionally also offerings of oats, little small pouches of oats, were tied to trees near sacred wells or sacred springs as an offering to Brigid. If you're going to do that, I urge you to think about using natural materials to do that so that it's going to decompose and not harm the wildlife. I would actually recommend, if you get a piece of kitchen roll, you can put some oats in that, tie it up with a bit of garden twine and hang that to one of the trees. Nothing in that will harm the environment when it decomposes later on. Some of the herbs associated with the season are basil, chamomile, and also cinnamon. Love a bit of cinnamon. If you're still haven't got enough cinnamon over the Christmas period, Imbolc is a great another time to bring cinnamon into it. Now, one great way to celebrate the foods of the season is to make pancakes. We all know Pancake Day is in February.
Yes, Pancake Day!
Exactly, pancakes are very popular, and actually around this time of year in Normandy there's a large crepe festival, and they use the crepe batter as they're making it to divine into the coming year, into the future, to see what things to expect. So making pancakes this time of year is a great way to celebrate. So moving on to some of the crystals that are associated with the holiday, you've got rose quartz, amethyst, citrine and clear quartz, but also the goddess Brigid is associated with protection. So if you're wanting to use the protection aspect of the season, black tourmaline and obsidian are the best crystals to use for this. Now, what you would do with the crystals is completely up to you. You can carry them for the day, you can hold one to meditate and think of the Sabbath, put them on your altar as decoration, but those are the crystals for you. So now I'm going to move on to some of the ways to celebrate Imbolc. One of the simplest and easiest ways to celebrate Imbolc, which I love to do, is actually just to go for a walk in nature. Go outside and look around and see what signs of spring you can see. It's all about spring coming, the coming back of the sun, of the plants starting to grow. So go outside, see what bulbs you can see popping up. Go on a snowdrop hunt, see if you can see any snowdrops. Bit of lore about the snowdrops though. The Christians believe it to be bad luck to bring snowdrops into your house before Candlemas, so the 2nd of February. But a lot of pagan people don't really listen to this, bring them in because they don't think that it's unlucky. It's a nice way to decorate the house. I have got some snowdrops in, but it is said to be very bad luck if you pick a snowdrop from a graveyard. And there are a lot of snowdrops in graveyards because the Christians planted them there to make the graves look a bit prettier. So don't, whatever you do, take a snowdrop from a graveyard. Imbolc is a fire festival, so a really popular way to celebrate this festival is by lighting candles. Now, a red candle is traditionally lit, a nice red candle, and you're supposed to leave it on your windowsill on the night of the 1st of February, and you're supposed to leave it through to morning. Fire safety though, never leave a candle unattended, so snuff it out before you go to bed. But yeah, leaving a candle on your windowsill is a great way to celebrate the Imbolc, and also making your own candles. If that's something you're interested in doing, making your candle on Imbolc will be a great way to celebrate the festival. I've mentioned already, Imbolc is associated very heavily with spring and spring cleaning. So spring clean, just do a bit of dusting, do a bit of vacuuming, and then if you want to do a magical energetic cleanse on top of that, go for it. But the actual act of physically spring cleaning is a great way to celebrate Imbolc. Now, it's the start of the rural year for rural communities, when they start to farm, start thinking about planting seeds. So it's a great time to garden plan. That's what I'm doing at the minute. I'm thinking about what I want to plant, where I want to plant it. And if you're interested in planting too, this is a great time for you to do the planning. And also, if there are any seeds that need starting inside, Imbolc is the perfect time to start doing that. But also, because it is the start of the year, Imbolc is a wonderful time to just plan your year in general. If you've got any goals, anything you wish to achieve, any intentions for what you want the year to become, Imbolc is the perfect time for you to start to, well, if not start, at least think about anything you've got to do, any workings that you want to do relating to goals that you'd like to achieve. Imbolc is a fantastic time to do those, along with the divinations of the new year. Now, one of the one of the most popular ways to celebrate Imbolc or St. Bridget's Day, particularly in Ireland, is to make one of these. It's St. Bridget's cross, and it's traditionally made from reeds, and it's an equal armed cross. So all of the arms are equal length, which is an ancient symbol. The cross was ancient and celebrated far before Christianity, and the equal armed cross is reflected in a lot of charms, such as the Rowan cross, which is a protection charm you can make. But this Brigid's cross is associated with protection, and it's associated with the 4 directions, the 4 traditional elements, the 4 seasons. It's got a lot of symbolism. Now traditionally you would make one of these out of reeds each year, and you'd put it on your barn, on the rafters of a barn, in the rafters of a house. You could put it above your hearth for protection as well, and you'd leave it up for the whole year for your protection, for good luck and for fertility. And then when you come round to the next Imbolc, you take your St. Brigid's cross from last year and you burn it into your hearth fire, and you make a new one and you put that up. So you're regenerating the protection every year. Now another great thing that people can make to celebrate Imbolc is one of these. It is a corn dolly. Now it's made from corn husk. You can also make one out of reeds if you don't have any corn husks lying around. And traditionally one of these would be made, and you'd bring it into your house, into your home, and you would put it by the hearth fire in the house. You would make a bed up for it out of a baby's cot or a cushion and blankets, and you would make sure she was warm and looked after for the night of Imbolc. And that is again to bring you luck in the coming year. I think that might be everything that I've got to say about Imbolc for now, but there is one really cool fact that I learned recently and I wanted to share with you. So Imbolc is tradition, it's celebrated all over the world, but in Britain, if you're in England in particular, you can go up to Castlerigg Stone Circle, which is in the Lake District, and that stone circle in particular is aligned with the sunrise on Imbolc, so it's a really great place if you want to go to celebrate it. I don't think I'll make it this year, but next year I would really like to do that. So that hopefully has given you some of the background of Imbolc, some ideas of how you can celebrate Imbolc, and hopefully you're feeling excited for the coming Sabbath. I hope you've enjoyed my video today. If you have, please do give it a like, put a comment in, let me know how you celebrate Imbolc, if there are any particular traditions that you have or that you follow. And if you're interested in seeing more videos about witchcraft and about the garden planning, which I shall be posting hopefully next week, please do subscribe and you'll see some more of me. Thank you very much. This is Rupert. He is intent on being in this YouTube video. Do you want to go on the arm of the chair? Good boy. There we go. That's Rupert. He just gave me such a dirty look. You're half off the sofa, mate. There you go. So, completely forgot where it was.